Good morning, 9 a.m., November 22nd on a Wednesday. In today's episode, what I think we're going to be doing is dealing with Alice's computer as far as how to replace the hard drive if she were to choose to go that route, and an email from Scott Travis. We helped him a while back buy a new computer, and a follow-up on this computer, and first a report on Big Beast Build in streaming issues. You know what? I guess it's appropriate to go ahead and show this comment, a channel comment that's moderated because he's not already approved. It says, "Oh boy, goodness, you got to figure out how to stream before you can hand out any tech support. LOL, got to crawl before you walk, old dog." He's referring to Saturday's show where the stream failed 3 times. Well, I got to say that's not because I don't know how to stream. I've been live streaming for a long time. It's because I'm having some level of hardware and software issue on this computer. If you're in this business and you don't occasionally have trouble with hardware and software, then you're just not doing very much because it happens. So anyway, I'll wind up approving his comment and sending him a timestamp for where I replied to or responded to his comment here. Then let's come back to here. So with Big Beast Build, yesterday I was having, I'm on the fresh installation of Windows 11 with a fresh install of XSplit to try to troubleshoot where are the troubles actually coming from. Yesterday there was various hesitations happening as I would move on camera. It was like the camera would just freeze and spot occasionally. I saw that happening before the show started. So far I haven't seen it during the show. Yesterday I installed OBS, the free version, figuring I would give that a shot to see if it can handle all my computers. Of course, it's working on my Fortnite stream, but that's the Streamlabs OBS Prime, the one that I paid for. So I figured I'd get some experience with OBS, the free version. But when I installed it, it said that my graphics driver was out of date. I was sure that I installed the NVIDIA graphics driver after doing this fresh install, but maybe not. So I went through the installation and made some choices there, thinking, well, maybe that'll fix the XSplit issue in this slim install of Windows. But I saw those hesitations this morning. So it could be the long USB cables that I have. I'm stretching the bounds of what you're supposed to be able to do with a computer in a few different ways. So it's not surprising that I come across troubles. I think that's all of the update for where I'm at right now with Big Beast Build. Then I'll move on to, let's go first to Alice. Now, we went through some purchase choices for Alice yesterday, just kind of at a very high level. I haven't got any feedback from Alice about what price range she wants to go for. She's in chat today. So I figured today I would show a little bit about how to replace the hard drive. And I think it's probably more than she would be adventurous to do. So I'm going to give a rundown of that. Here's from the manual, this section, replacing the hard drive. And they start with remove media, unplug power cords, disconnect cables attached to the computer, yada, 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 yada. So what we're going to do is click on this one. This is a link right here. Now, these in this manual, they don't give us a blue coloring or an underline to show a link. The only way you recognize that as a link is when I move the mouse to this one that says refer to removing the base stand, as you get the finger, the hand with the finger, the index finger pointing. When I move up to the paragraph above, I don't have that. So this is clickable. Before I click to go to that, I want to pay attention that I'm on page 51. It's actually the printed page 45 of this manual. I want to be able to come back to page 51. So start with removing the stand base. Click on that. And they're showing here, there's this, let's see, what do they call it? A hand screw ring counterclockwise. There's a screw here with a U-shaped metal connector that you turn counterclockwise to release it. And this base comes off pretty easily once you've done that. So then I'll go back to page 51. The next item is removing the rear cover. So click on that one, takes us to removing the rear cover. And it comes down here to remove the stand base and remove the hinge covers. So there's this plastic piece here that you flip up this little door, and then this whole round piece comes off and slides off over this bracket, tube, a stand, whatever you want to call it. And then they show here a clockwise turn, about a quarter turn clockwise with a screwdriver here to release this. There is not one on the other side. It's only on this side of the computer. This is the bottom of the computer with the face down on the surface. So then they're showing turning that. And then they're showing here removing the back. What they don't show here is that this back has clips, and you have to go all around the perimeter with a spudger tool. We'll get to a YouTube video in a moment that'll show what that looks like. And that's a part that's a little bit unnerving to do when you're new at this. As you click, as each one of those snaps open, it kind of sounds and feels like you broke something, but you haven't. Now, another thing about that's a weakness in the manual is they don't show up here. After you remove this plastic cover, there's 4 screws there that you've got to remove. And they don't show that in the manual. They don't even tell about it. They say remove the screw cover rubber. They're calling it a rubber piece here. It looks pretty rigid to me. But there's 4 screws under that you have to remove. And they don't tell that in the manual. Thank you very much. Let's go back to page 51. And then the next item, let's see, that was remove the rear cover, pull a hard disk drive and bracket and lift them up. Now this one is not clickable. They're showing that right here. Here's the hard disk drive cover. There's 4 screws there. Disconnect the signal cable from the hard disk drive. That's a little bit difficult to do, as we'll see when we get to the YouTube video. Remove the 4 screws that secure the hard disk drive to the bracket. So they want you to remove the cable first. I think it's probably going to be easier to remove the cable out after you've removed those 4 screws and lift it up a little bit. We'll see that in the video as well. So it's a little bit thin with the manual here. Now let's go to this one video that I pulled up. I didn't go look through a whole lot of videos, but I'm just going to scrub through this and mute that. That looks like a scam call. This isn't exactly the same model, but I'm pretty sure that the procedure is pretty much the same because it looks the same as the manual. So here showing he's removing this base stand, and there's that thumb screw. There's that little piece of metal right up here. That's the piece that you turn with your thumb. You don't even need a screwdriver for that. And then here he's showing pulling up that plastic or rubber cover. First opens that little door there with a spudger tool. That comes up, and then he does a little prying around it, and it pops out. See, that looks more like plastic to me than a soft rubber. There you see the 4 screws that the manual didn't show us. He's going to take out those screws. I'm going to fast forward a little bit so the video is running a little bit faster. Removes each of those 4 screws, then I'm going to jump forward by 5 seconds at a time by hitting the right arrow key on the keyboard. Now we're going to see him with that quarter turn to the left clockwise, which is counterintuitive. Counterclockwise, clockwise, counterintuitive. Just a quarter turn, and then he's using a spudger tool. He goes around the entire perimeter of the computer. I'm jumping forward 5 seconds at a time. This is the part that's a little bit unnerving when it's your first time doing it. So that I have no idea what Alice's comfort level is with doing something like that. Let's make this full screen so it's a little bit easier for you to see. And I'm going to jump forward a little bit further. That's fast forwarding, right arrow key to jump forward 5 seconds at a time. Here he's doing the spudger tool along the top edge of the computer. So you got to go around the entire perimeter to do this. Jumping 5 seconds, another 5 seconds, and now here we see him pulling the back cover off, and it just slides off over that bracket tube. Now you can't pull it all apart at this point because there's some wires attaching the screen to the motherboard. So here we're going to see him disconnect those wires, And those wires are really tiny and a little bit difficult to deal with. So Alice, if you're not good with dealing with small objects with your fingers, getting it out, he used a spudger tool. Let's go back there a little bit. We see a little bit of the way that this looks. There you can see these, well, one of those types of connectors. They're very, very tiny. So taking them out takes a little bit of finesse. He used a spudger tool there. He's pretty quick and abrasive with the way he does that. A person, first timer, isn't going to do it that aggressively, but then putting them back in, you've got to be able to deal with small things there. So I don't know how you feel about doing that, Alice. This is just giving you an idea of what it's like to get a notion whether you feel adventurous enough to go for repairing it or finding someone who can do it. Now then, here's the hard drive cover here, or cassette or cartridge, whatever the manual called it. He's going to remove those 4 screws. I'm going to run the video at double speed here by doing shift period key a few times and getting to double speed. And then once he takes this out, he does not show actually replacing the hard drive that's in here. Now this is a 3.5-inch hard drive. Your replacement drive is going to be a 2.5-inch SSD. Now notice how difficult it is for him to get this connector off. The manual told us to take the connector off while it's still screwed into place. I think it's a lot easier to manipulate it here because you see it's not a real easy thing for him. He's using a screwdriver to pry it off. And then he doesn't show any more about replacing that. What's going to happen there is this hard drive has got 4 screws around the perimeter of it. So you remove those 4 screws and then take that out. Now you're going to be replacing it with a 2.5-inch hard drive, so you're going to need one of these adapter plates. So this adapter plate will screw into the location where we see that 3.5-inch drive, and then your 2.5-inch drive is going to mount into these 4 holes with screws that will come with this bracket. This bracket will come with screws that you can use in here, but you're going to you want to use the screws that came out of the computer for that because they're specialized. But the bracket kit will come with the screws for mounting your 2.5-inch drive here. The connectors that came off of that 3.5-inch drive will fit on this side. You want to put the connectors on the side that have this notch. And that'll plug in pretty easily. Now at this point when you're connecting those the connectors to this 2.5-inch drive, you've got this bracket, this adapter bracket, mounted inside the cage, the cassette, the cartridge, whatever that came out of the computer. And then you put that back in and screw it in place. Now, of course, you've got this down low, close to the computer when you're doing that. Then, let's see, I think that's all I needed to go over for Alice. I'm going to move on to Scott Travis's email, and then I'll go catch up with chat and respond to any comments in there from Alice and others. Now, I did have an audio confirmation earlier on. I am looking at chat over here. I don't see anything that you're yelling at me about that's going wrong. I haven't seen any glitches in the video yet. Here is Scott's email. Now, Scott, we helped him buy a laptop computer many months ago. He says, "Hi, Doug. Hope you're doing well wherever you are. I wonder if I should be renewing this warranty that Dell is warning me about. If I don't, will our security services continue as they have?" Yes, because I'm quite sure, Scott, that we set you up with just the Windows Defender that's included with Windows. Any extra security services that the Dell warranty might have provided, I prefer that you not use those anyway, because they slow down the computer and they really don't give you any extra protection that I see as being worthwhile. Now, that's my opinion. Some people will disagree with that opinion. As I always say, I hardly know how to use computers beyond working on websites. Now, working on websites, he doesn't mean creating websites. He's not a website editor or creator. He's just going to websites and using them. And I really love to climb up the learning curve. I forgot whether I've asked about this before, but have you got a recommendation for a really basic owner's manual for using our laptop. No, the owner's manual from the manufacturer for that laptop, it's not really going to be giving you the information that you're looking for. You're more looking for things like what you're about to ask here in this next paragraph. So basically, when you come across an issue that you're struggling with, what I find most useful at any level of computer user is go do a Google search or do a YouTube search. Try to type in the question as specifically as you can. You're going to most likely be able to find information for what you're trying to do. Now, also this channel, this YouTube channel right here, right now, that's what I specialize in, is for people to ask questions. How do I do such and such? And then I go demonstrate whatever the such and such that's being asked for. But as far as a manual or a course, a training course that will teach you everything you want to know for what you do, no, nobody's reading your mind that well. This reminds me, when I turned down buying any Microsoft Office programs for this machine, I presumed that I could easily use various free equivalent Google programs instead, as I have been using for years on our Chromebooks. Well, yeah, that's a reasonable statement, but you have to do things a little differently. You're going to have to jump through a couple of hoops, which we're going to talk about with the rest of your paragraph here. I soon realized that our Dell tries to default to a Microsoft app each time I try to open spreadsheets that folks send me. Now, first time reading through this, I didn't catch this piece of that sentence that well. It's saying for spreadsheets that have been sent as attachments in emails. He didn't write it that way, but I think it's safe to assume that folks send me means people are sending him Excel spreadsheets attached to an email, which he then double clicks on and is expecting that to open in Google Sheets. No, you got to jump through a little bit of hoops because you're wanting to use a free software that's on the web, not installed on your computer, regardless of the app that was used to make them. So yes, that is normal. It's not that your Dell tries to default to Microsoft app. That's any Windows computer will be trying to default to a Microsoft app, and it's going to try to take you to a place for you to purchase a Microsoft app license or use the web version of Microsoft Office, which you could use that for free. You can use the Microsoft Office suite on the web for free, but then I think you're going to need to have OneDrive active in order for you to utilize that. But let's go on a little bit further. I haven't figured out how to get the Dell to default to Google Sheets instead. Do you think this is a feature we can turn off? No, it's not. What you need to do, Scott, is upload that spreadsheet to your Google Drive. Now, I think Scott has been using the Google apps for quite a long time. He said that earlier in this email. So he may already understand, oh, okay, I can upload that to Google Drive. Now in Google Drive, you can double click on that spreadsheet and it will open into Google Sheets. And while we're at it, I wonder if we could boost the sound output of the laptop somehow. Its maximum value is less than our maximum volume is less than our Chromebook and iPad and my iPhone, so I'm surprised it's so quiet. Well, there's 3 places that you could be adjusting volume, and I've seen some people miss one of those. So if I go over to this YouTube video, now I don't know what you're playing that you need volume for. So in the YouTube volume slider, it's here. If you're needing to play volume somewhere else, there's a volume control for the object that you're trying to play. And then there's your volume slider in Windows down here on the speaker in the bottom right corner. So you can see here that I don't have my volume all the way up, and then so I can just adjust it up there. That's different than the volume on YouTube. Let's go demonstrate that. I can turn this volume down and then come back over here to Windows and see that Windows is still turned all the way up. So that is a separate independent volume control. Then the other place that you're going to adjust volume, now he's on Windows 11. So let's see, I often click into the wrong place here. All settings, this edit quick settings. I think it's in this gear icon. Let's see if I get to the right place. No, that's not the one I want. Let's go back here. Right click on the speaker icon and then sound settings. This is the one. Now if you come down here. You see this volume slider here. This is the same as the Windows slider. If I move this down to like 48%, come down here and see this has moved to 48%. So that's the same thing. That one's not different. However, if we scroll down further here, let's get to the right place. Where, let's see, all sound devices. No, here, more sound settings. In this area, more sound settings, click on that. And that is not the one that I wanted. Volume mixer, is it in there? Go here. Reset sound devices for all apps. Input device, output device. Oh, come on, where is that one? I looked at it yesterday and got to it pretty quickly, so I didn't think I was going to have any difficulty getting to the right place here. Well, I think we can get to it here anyway. If we go this place, playback, that's speakers. Well, click on your speakers here. It should have a check mark if it's active. Look on properties here. And then to levels, make sure that one's up all the way, but I think that's the same one. I'm trying to get to the one where you can adjust it for different volume sources, volume, all sound devices. I don't think it's there. Oh, come on. Where is it? It is so easy. I'm looking back. Your picture-in-picture is covering up your audio controls. Okay, thank you for that. Turn off the picture-in-picture. Trial version. Let's see, where is that at? I found it so easily yesterday. Choose a device from that's input, related support. This is sound. Somewhere I went to the wrong place, didn't I? I wonder if it's because I have my headset on. Sound notification nearby sharing. No, it should be in here. Come on, help me out, somebody in chat. Where is that for where you can have a setting specifically for YouTube and for other things that you're watching. Oh, here, select a sound output. Was it there? No, it's not there. Oh, come on, get to it, Dougster. Troubleshoot? No. And I'm so sure it was in here. Headphones, if I click into that, is it there? Spatial sound, home theater, right channel format, audio, no. Dennis is asking mixer. Okay, well, the word mixer doesn't quite get me to it. I think mixer could be it. But, oh, open volume mixer. Didn't I already go into there? System sounds, Microsoft Edge. Oh, yeah, here it is. These are it right here. Duh. Oh, I know why I didn't notice it. It's because when I'm on the bloated Big Beast build configuration, there are more things here. I don't have as much installed, so there's not as many things here. This is it. I was at it right in the beginning. So this would reduce the amount, the sound for Microsoft Edge, and I notice that didn't change the volume for Windows. If I go over to YouTube, let's get over to YouTube, and the volume is still showing maximum here for YouTube, but this is playing in Microsoft Edge. So if I have the sound for Microsoft Edge turned down, then my sound is not going to be full volume. So you want to turn this up. So I was at the right place. One of the first things I came into is volume mixer. I didn't see that long list of items that I had on this screen when I was using the bloated Big Beast build. That's a fun term, isn't it? Bloated Big Beast build. So on your computers, you might have a bunch of other things here. So that's Microsoft Edge. And then here is for this streaming live. This is XSplit, the software that I'm using to do this live stream. The volume could be turned low on that. And if you have other things installed on your computer that have sound management of their own, you could have many more things here. So Scott, that was the three things: your Windows volume, the volume for the things that you're actually trying to play, and then this volume mixer. And then, of course, also a physical volume on your speakers if you have external speakers plugged into your laptop. Now, if you were to buy some external speakers, plug it into the laptop, they would be louder than the speakers built into the laptop. Also, some laptops have an additional volume control on the side of the laptop. It might look like a roller wheel or a slider switch. Also on the laptop keyboard, on the function keys, you may have volume controls there, but that's usually the same controls as Windows. So when you adjust the Windows volume down here in the bottom right corner of your screen, that should be the same as the keys on your keyboard. So I think that covers all of Scott's questions. Then let's come to the chat room and go catch up with chat. I'll pop out chat. Now I do have redirect set up for Ken Stout's premiere that is scheduled to start at the bottom of the hour. So in about a little over 4 minutes. Alice, Brian, my wife asked me if I could clear the dining room table. I had to get a running start, but I made it. Jumped over it. Good morning. Did you stick the landing? Mike, Ken, Selden. Ken, let me know in chat. Can you delay your start time by 5 minutes? Good evening to you. Just waiting for a chicken korma to get delivered from Martin Hogg. Mike, Jeff. Did I skip somebody? Selden Ball. Dennis interrupted Hexona stream so I can join you live. Thank you, Dennis. I never had any of the issues you have ever. Yeah, right. You have issues every time you stream. Are you kidding me? English. I can't stop Brian Lightfoot except for English. Oh, the issues. Yeah. Yeah, I think last night your Zoom audio was not playing once you thought it was playing, and it wasn't. I noticed he passed on the section that covers the 4 hours to remove at the back. Yeah, if you're new at opening a computer like that, I was showing the using that spudger tool all the way around. That can be frustrating. Tim Sal, good morning. What is a BBB? That's Big Beast Build. That is the name of this computer behind me. When Kerry Holzman built this computer on his live stream, he named it the Big Beast Build. Brian says it's Big Beast Build. So bloated Big Beast Build is the one that has all this software installed. Right now I'm working on the brief Big Beast Build. Brief? What's a letter B that means thin or svelte or not a lot of software? What processor do you have in your current AIO, is asking Alice. We know it's not capable of Windows 11. The current bid is 2750, whatever that's about, I don't know. Tim Sal, good morning. Enjoying vacation, asking, he's enjoying vacation, or he's asking if Ken Stout is enjoying vacation. I think Tim's enjoying vacation. Ken to Tim, nice. Is the weather cooperating? Let's see, that's how far behind I am. Looking, sure if I can figure out how. He doesn't know how to change the time on a Premiere. Are you kidding me? Vacation in Fresnoville. Yes, he's in Fresno. Martin, maybe Alice wants an all-in-one for touchscreen facility. She's never mentioned touchscreen. It's because of space limitations at her desk. That's her reason for wanting the all-in-one, not to get touchscreen. I don't think she's interested in touchscreen. She would have mentioned it, I think. But Alice, if that is something you care about, then that's something to look at when you're selecting a new computer. Heading to the airport later. Tim is going to the airport. Now, he might not be going to the airport to fly somewhere. He may be going there to take photos. Ken is asking Tim if he's flying east. He does fly back east for family. Nick's not a fan of all-in-one computers. Alice says touchscreen might be okay. So she might be interested in that. You might not have to pay much more money for it. When you're comparing computers for computers, when you find the computers that have the features that you care about, you might find that you even have one that you found for a lesser price that has touchscreen. So not necessarily the case that touchscreen is going to cost more. Depends upon your shopping success. Tim to Ken, no, he's just hanging out. So he's going to hang out at the airport. He's probably coming over here to the Chandler airport near me. Would he be? No, I don't know. He might be going to the main airport. It's closer to where he lives. Nick to Jeff, I get that, just not a fan of them. Dennis to Alice, you should probably purchase a new machine. 7th gen Intel is circa 2017. Yeah, I'm hoping that she'll purchase a new machine. I have no awareness of where she's at with the money for that. Now, Alice, if you were to decide that you want to take a crack at replacing the drive, what I would suggest is first open up the computer. Then, if you're successful with that, order the replacement drive. Now, I say that, or when you order the replacement drive first, make sure you can return it if you decide that you give up when you start trying to open up that computer. And the drive is going to be less than $100. But a 2.5-inch drive for a 1 terabyte drive, that you should easily be able to find that for under $100. It might be $50. Some people in chat are going to know exactly how much it's going to cost. Yes, it's quite old now. Yeah, and then you're going to have to replace it by 2025 anyway. So I don't think that she's actually told us she's made a decision to buy new yet. But Black Friday coming up, that's when you're going to get your best deal this year, most likely. Dennis has an old one. It overheats. Those connectors are not easy to deal with. If I was a newbie, I would not try that. Agree. Jim's is leaving us. And Alice hasn't had any overheating issues. Thank you. I'll take a look at this again, she says. As V Minor, if she will get to change the hard disk, not need a caddy for the SSD, she can just lay it in there. Well, okay, it's an all-in-one, so she just lays it in there. I mean, you could. These caddies are only $7 for 2 of them. So, yeah, I'd rather have it secured in there. Now, it is possible that cage that is mounting the 3.5-inch drive, it might have mounting holes or even you could find some kind of slot somewhere where you could at least put one screw in for the 2.5-inch drive. And maybe if you turn it a little sideways, you could get 2 screws in, and that would be sufficient too. I've done that before in a pinch when I didn't have a adapter available. So good point, Savi. Daniel Emberley, my AMD build has been acting up lately. Locks up with stalled video, no sound, sometimes buzzing sound, unresponsive to keyboard and mouse. So Danielle, I'd like for you to do the same thing that Alice did, is download Crystal Disk Info and send me a picture of that screen that has all the detail. And if you need me to refresh the instructions for how to do that, let me know. We'll do that on another day because that would be my first concern, that you're having a hard drive issue. First, because the trial version of Microsoft Office is still installed on that computer. Yes. So uninstalling that trial version, it's never going to open into Google Sheets. You double click on an email attachment, unless maybe if you're using Gmail on the web, on a web browser, and you're signed into your Google account, maybe that would open into Sheets. I don't know. Josh, your picture covering up. It's getting close to time to send you on to Ken's show. So $50 for a crucial 1 terabyte SATA drive. Alice says, thanks. Martin, Velcro to secure the 2.5-inch drive. Yeah, you could do that. She's still contemplating what to do. No big deal. He cannot change that. He cannot change that scheduled time for the premiere. Really? Wow. Remedial training course for you, Ken Stout. Yeah. John Day, Danielle, I had the same problem last week. I wanted to BIOS and set the setting of fast startup. Has been good ever since. That doesn't seem like that would make that change. Okay, I think I'm caught up. I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. Come back here to this camera and have a great day, everybody. I'll catch you later.